Hey, what are the odds of meeting you guys here? How you doing, huh? My amplified unit, this is your double dose of amplification for Thursday, April 27th, 2023. I say double dose because if you don't know, you're about to know. Just a few hours ago, BC put up the Amped Up podcast for today, over an hour long. We went over the Naomi situation, the fact that it's damn near criminal that she had to leave WWE, and just as criminal, just as wrong, that they could not come to terms with her return. Not a VKM, not an HHH, nobody. That's how bad it got for Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, and Trinity Fatu, Naomi. The fact that not only did they walk away, but they didn't want to come back. Not for any amount of money, not for any more lies and BS promises. We talked all about it in great length in that podcast that I put up just a few hours ago. We also discussed the big lawsuit, man. We went over some cringeworthy details that is being levied against Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and many others in World Wrestling Entertainment and WWE at large. A big lawsuit. Man, BC went over that report for the first time in that podcast. So I had to take my time with it, try not to stumble over words, comprehend what I was reading, because I read that for the first time on the air earlier for you guys in that Amped Up podcast. So after this one, at some point over the next 24 hours, you're going to want to check that podcast out. I appreciate the thousands of you guys that have already checked that out, the hundreds that have already smashed that up. I appreciate you guys very much. If you have not checked it out, check it out, man. This is the Double Dose, the second Amped Up podcast of the day. And this one is going to be just as amplified. We're going to talk Britt Baker and how she wants nothing to do with the AEW Women's Championship at all. She wants nothing to do with it, and she tells you exactly why. And that's not good. You should never, no matter what the platform is, you should never, as a professional wrestler, tell the world that you don't want the championship. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk all about it. I'm going to give you the actual transcript of her words, her conversation with Tony Schiavone. We'll go over all of that coming up in this podcast. We're also going to talk the AEW rating. I do have the rating for Dynamite. It's not very good at all. However, there's a silver lining. If you're looking for a little bit of positivity in this number, BC is going to give it to you. I'll give you a little bit of positivity with a whole lot of negativity over this Dynamite number. That'll be coming up as well. And we have to talk the elephant in the room, what BC is hearing. There's no easy way to say it. If you thought 1,000 days is where WWE just wanted to clinch and then they'll finally take the title off of Roman, and Roman could start a new diabolical, vicious way to get the title back and his throne back, a little bit of freshness, if things got a little stale to you, not so fast. It looks like WWE is not stopping anywhere near 1,000 days. I'll tell you what I'm hearing. We'll go over exactly what I'm hearing, what day mark, and how long that is from now. We're going to talk all about it. First, guys, real quick, I got a little bit of breaking news, something that caught my attention. There's been a lot of wondering with AEW having All In at Wembley Stadium August 27th. We know that, the Labor Day? I always get Labor Day, Memorial Day all mixed up. My bad. But that following week is usually All Out. So everybody was thinking, well, if All In is August 27th, does that mean that All Out is not going to be a week later, first week of September? Well, we have confirmation. AEW Senior Vice President and Chief Legal Officer Mega Perek, probably butchering the last name, but Mega states, and I quote, again, this is the AEW Vice President and Chief Legal Officer, about All Out a week after All In. She says, and I quote, "I'm excited to go back to London. We'll have to come back here to the US for All Out the week after, but it should be really fun." So there you go. That's confirmation, man. You're going to have AEW is going to do All Out on the 27th of August. And then a week, or All In August 27th, Wembley, UK. And a week later, go back to the States to put on their second pay-per-view within 1 week. All Out. I don't know why you would ever do that. I mean, you have months to think this through. I get the UK show, All In, Wembley. I like it. I would actually have just made that All Out and push it up a week. But there's no way you could do 2 pay-per-views in 1 week, especially when you're trying to pop your rating every week and you're giving away what fans call bangers. I can't stand that word. It's overused to the most amplified of measures and degrees. But you're trying to give away pay-per-view style matches on most of your television shows, and you are doing that. And you're going to try to plan for 2 pay-per-views within 1 week. Now, we've seen a trend lately that's not good. We've seen it for years in WWE, and we started to see it recently for Tony Khan, unfortunately, and that is not properly building his pay-per-views. The last several, the bulk of the cards have been being put together within a couple of weeks of the pay-per-view. That's not how Tony used to do business. And the fact that he only has 4 big pay-per-views a year was so refreshing to somebody like BC who misses the old 4 pay-per-view format. Like back in the day for WWF, you had Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Even before the King of the Ring. You had the 4, and you had 3 months in between every pay-per-view to actually build your matches, build your feuds, captivate with your storylines. Tony Khan started AEW with that concept, with that format, and because he gives away so much on the actual television shows, you're not building properly to the pay-per-views, and now we're coming up to 2 weeks before every pay-per-view, and we're rushing out matches at random. Now you're asking to dig that hole even deeper and try to create enthusiasm. Try to build for 2 pay-per-views within 1 week. I don't know what he could possibly be contemplating for both shows. But all of us have been contemplating, are they really going to do pay-per-views? Are they moving All Out a week after All In? No. AEW Senior Vice President Chief Legal Officer Mega states, and I quote, "I'm excited to go back to London. We'll have to come back here to the US for All Out the week after, but it should be really fun." Now, listen, I'm just breaking the news to you as I've seen it, right? The news was already broken. I'm breaking it to my unit if you have not yet heard. But this is real. 2 pay-per-views within 1 week. Some people might go, wow, I can't wait. What a week. It's going to be a wrestling action for AEW. Hey, I hear ya. Most of us are thinking logically, how the fuck is he going to do this and build suspense and captivate us? The Wembley Stadium show is going to be electric because it's at Wembley. But how the hell are you going to keep that same electricity to back in the States a week later? You don't think that's too meshed? Damn, bro. We'll have to see. I don't know. We'll see if maybe he changes it. I mean, it is the end of April. You got May, June. Man, you'd have to change that within the next 2 weeks. You don't want to get too far into May where you're just at that point 3 months away from both All In and All Out. So, I mean, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. That's the Senior Vice President, Chief Legal Officer. I think she would know if things were even maybe possibility of being changed. It doesn't sound like that at all. They're just going to go full throttle with the week. I don't know, man. For a company that business-wise still needs to grow before they do wild shit like this, I just don't see why this is needed. And what I mean by that, because I want to see AEW grow, man. I really do. And I feel like the reason they're not is because they're sitting at the grown-up table too early. You know what I mean? They never really sat at the kids' table long enough. And they started doing things like Forbidden Door when their audience wasn't situated yet. You were still building even your niche. And they just come out with like things like Forbidden Door. And they do wild matches that should be on pay-per-view on so many of their television shows when they know they're not going to pop the proper rating because of several factors. That's a story for another day. That's if you're a numbers person, you know what BC's talking about. And then things like this, where you're putting 2 pay-per-views in 1 week. I mean, you're acting like you've been around for 60 years, like you're WWE or some shit. It's like, calm the fuck down. Calm down. The latest AEW Dynamite Rating will sound the alarm, right? Raise the red flag that you need to build your product first and then do this type of wild shit. So what am I talking about, right? Well, let's go over the AEW Dynamite Rating real quick, if you don't mind. The AEW Dynamite Rating this week was 863,000 viewers. Now, that is up 33,000 viewers from last week's 830,000 viewers. So they held their own against stiff NBA playoff competition. Now, I never give excuses. If you're new to the channel, you probably already know that. My tried and trues know that for sure. I do not give excuses. I don't care if it's NFL football, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball games, NHL playoffs, the badminton tournament championships, the Monopoly finals, the fucking Twister semifinals, the Yahtzee championships. It doesn't matter what it is, man. I'm not going to give you a mulligan. You still have to produce the best possible show and try to pull the best rating imaginable. I talk about NXT in the earlier podcast I just put up just a few hours ago. We talked about NXT pulling 647,000 viewers from 567,000 last week. And that was against stiff sporting competition, NBA playoffs, you name it. So how did they go up nearly 80,000 viewers? Well, because NXT gave a fuck and produced a really good television show, a really good wrestling show this week. Hence, they went up 80,000 viewers. That's how this works. I'm not saying you got to go and beat the NBA playoffs. Hold your own and whoop ass. Don't curl up in a ball and hide in the corner like a bitch boy Braden and just wave the white flag in defeat. No. Fight, man. Rock these sporting events. Take a bite out of their viewership. Too many times we see, especially WWE Raw, they just kind of give up. They kind of phone it in. Oh, we're not going to beat the NCAA championship game anyway. Oh, that's a big Monday Night Football game. Man, we ain't going to do anything. No, you are. We proved that back in the Attitude Era. Vince Russo and company, they fucking attached their balls and they manned up and they rocked out, man. And they didn't just take a bite out of NFL's viewership. There was times they were whooping their ass because the product was so hot and so good and so must-see. So my point is, I don't give excuses. However, this was really stiff competition. I think there was like 3 NBA games. If you're a New York Knicks fan, you were really in tune to what was going on with the Cavs series. Because the Knicks, it seems they haven't been in the fucking playoffs or winning a playoff series for 180,000 years. Slight exaggeration. So I don't give excuses, but this was really stiff. And to pull 33,000 more viewers from last week, that's a silver lining. For anybody trashing the rating this week for AEW, I think that's unfair. They didn't just hold their own, they brought in 33,000 more viewers back. That's the good news, guys. The bad news, and there is bad news, very negative. This is their new normal. I've been telling you guys this for weeks, maybe even months by now. This is their new normal, around 850. We've seen them like this week at 863. We've seen them at 830 last week. We've seen them at 833. We've seen them at 824. We've seen them at 827, 855. We've seen them hovering at 850. Once in a blue moon, I think there was a huge Tony announcement like a month and a half ago, and that pulled in like 1 million. And then it rocketed right back. Downward spiraled right back to 800,000. My point is, 850-ish, and really 825-ish for many weeks, is the new normal. I told you guys that 950,000 is the top of their niche audience. The bottom of their niche is 850,000. I've been saying this for many, many months. The problem now is the top of their niche, that 950, gone, destroyed. They've took off. They said, peace, check you, I'm out, no longer must-see TV. And those are AEW diehard niche fans, man. The top of the tier, 950. Now you're at the bottom of your top tier niche, 850. And again, many weeks, 825. So you're leaking out of even your bottom niche audience, which is the 850. 950, the top of the niche, gone. 850 is where you're rocking, and a lot of times 825, 827, 833, 830. So even the bottom level of your top tier niche is saying, peace, check you, I'm out, you're not must see. That's the problem, guys. That, fuck the million. Get that number out of your dome piece. The fact that 950, which was the top of the niche, the fact that that is nowhere near being clinched on a week-to-week basis, or at all the past several months. The fact that you can't touch your 950, that's the saddest thing. The saddest thing is even their niche is walking away. And I've been saying this for months because I follow the numbers, the trajectory of it all. I'm a big numbers guy. 850 to 950 was always their niche. 950 the top of the niche. 850 the bottom of the niche. Man, when you start seeing 825, 830, you're no longer in the top tier of the niche, man. You are now just in your tried and true audience. You are now in the lower bowels of it. Lower 800s. You're going any lower, obviously. You're in the 700s. And, you know, for anybody that laughs at NXT's viewership near 650 this week, well, if you go into the 700s and you're supposed to be the second biggest conglomerate wrestling entity in the U.S., what's that saying for you? You laugh at NXT, but you'll be in the 700s. That's the problem, guys. They held their own against stiff competition. That's the good news. The bad news is they cannot get the fuck away from 850-ish. 820s and 830s usually, 863 here. I'm sure they're happier than a pig in shit to be 13,000 over 850. They'll take that, run away, don't look back, just in case it's a mistake. So that's the biggest problem. The fact that they are sitting at 850 and they cannot crawl back to that 950. Tony's going to have to come up with some big, huge announcements. Yeah, you're going to have to get fucking Phillip Brooks. Bret Hart's going to have to come back for one more fucking match. Billy Goldberg is going to have a match with Wardlow. You got to get Brock Lesnar on his next contract. I don't fucking know what you got to do. I don't know what you got to do with this. You got to get Mercedes money. I don't think Martinez is going to do too much. You already tried that anyway. You got to get Mercedes, try to get Trinity away from Impact. I don't know, man. But you got to get at least that 950 back. Then, once you situate that, you can start talking about the million again. Because this is not working. And here we are about to do 2 pay-per-views within 1 week in August. I really do hope they switch that up. And they got their hands full next month. May 28th, is it? May 28th, they're going to go head-to-head. Double or Nothing for AEW is going head-to-head with NXT's next big premium live event. And this time, from what I'm hearing, because usually they one will go on during the day, the other at night. Like Tony Khan had an ROH show that went on during the day, and NXT or WWE, one of the two, went on at night. NXT at one point went on during the day. Tony Khan's AEW went on during the night. I think that was another Double or Nothing now. I think it was Double or Nothing, something like that. But they flip-flopped on the same day, but different times. I'm hearing at this time, nobody's budging, and they're going to go head-to-head. Collision course. So, man, you know, I'm sure they would love to go into these pay-per-views fucking around $1 million, or at least that top-tier niche of 950, and they're not even close right now. I didn't feel this past Wednesday night show was that bad either. It's just not must-see for these fans. And you could say that about pro wrestling in a nutshell, man. WWE Raw for sure, and SmackDown even, which many claim was the best show in all of wrestling for a while. And they're even starting to, I don't know, how do I say, suck? So that's the talk on the Dynamite rating, guys. We do have the number 863,000. What I want to talk about now, before I get into the Roman Reigns talk, because that's going to be a separate headache, just so you know. I want to talk about Britt Baker. Now I believe this was on the Access show originally. I didn't see it on that. I don't know when that show airs. Not that I would watch it anyway. Maybe it still comes on after Dynamite. I don't know. But the show Access is kind of like a reality show, like a Bella's or Ms. and Mrs. or Roads to the Top or Total Divas. Only there's a lot more realism in it. They give a lot away that they definitely should not be. Too much, like TMI, literally. And this is one of those things, guys. This is one of those things where she should not be spewing this much, even if it's your truth. That's fine. Talk to other wrestlers about it. Talk to your fucking therapist, whatever the fuck. But you should not be having this on all access or whatever this show is called. And I want to give you an actual transcript of this because you guys are going to let me know what you think about that. I want to give you the actual transcript. The problem is I have to find it. And if I don't find it, then that's not going to work. Okay, here it is. I had it originally and it got erased out. Okay, I got it, guys. I'm like, oh, great. The red light's on, man. I'm not editing this shit. It's the second podcast of the day. Where did the transcript go? I got it, guys. So you ready for this? This is a conversation with Tony Schiavone. Schiavone asks Britt Baker, you think you're going to go over eventually? Britt Baker says, will I beat Jamie? Oh, no, I shouldn't. I shouldn't beat Jamie Hayter. Again, why are you telling the audience this? Just because the show's called Access. You want to take us behind the curtain, that's fine. Careful, you have to keep kayfabe alive, even if just a little bit. Just a little bit. Keep kayfabe alive, man. It's the only way we're going to be able to watch this shit. She says, no, I shouldn't be beating Jamie Hayter. And she's right, by the way, but don't tell us that, man. The fans are hearing this. Tony Schiavone says, don't you want to be the world champion again? Britt Baker says, no. Tony says, you don't want to be the world champion again? Britt says, never. Literally, never. Tony says, never, ever again do you want to be champion. Britt Baker says, not in the next 5 years at least. Tony says, what's wrong with being the world champion? Britt Baker says, that drama that comes with it. Just having so many people come after me behind my back and go straight to my boss and just bury me. Because they're jealous, because they don't like me, because they don't like what I'm doing. That fucked with me so bad, she says. She then says, when I was AEW Women's World Champion, it was hard because I had a lot of the girls in the back that really came for me. At one point, there was a meeting held about me, accusing me of faking a broken wrist. And it goes on and on. And fortunately, since then, almost all the girls have apologized to me. And I've moved past that. But I still have some PTSD. I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect to get so much smoke that I wasn't ready for. End quote. So because all of this drama backstage, which is where it should stay, but it always comes out, and then podcasts like this obviously have to talk about it because the audience wants the word on it, and we have to discuss it because it's out there now. But that should stay in the back. All the drama. We shouldn't have to know that you no longer want to be world champion because of drama that comes with it, and some of the girls might come for you. Now, you guys know I'm I'm a Baker fan for the most. I don't like to throw the word fan out too much. I don't know about fan, but I enjoy Baker's work. I know what she's done for AEW. And if I would have to pick, am I more of a fan or not a fan? I would say I'm more of a fan of Britt Baker, for sure. I like Britt Baker. To hear her say, I don't want to be world champion, absolutely not. And when pressed really hard, at least not for 5 years. No way. I don't want that smoke. I don't want the girls coming for me. I don't like the drama with it. What? I don't give a fuck if this was on the... Again, I believe this was on the Access show. I didn't actually see the show. I'm seeing the transcript. And I believe this was a conversation with Tony in the show. But it's totally... It's from the heart. There's no reason you would even... even if you were going to Jimmy rig Mickey Mouse a conversation, meaning like have a farce conversation, a fake conversation, just for some drama, a storyline. You would never want that out there. Never would you want to fake that. That you, as a pro wrestler, you don't want the title because you don't like the drama backstage. Literally, then you're doing a show that covers all the drama backstage. But to say you're done with AEW, their world championship, you're done with the championship. You don't want it. So that if you ever get it, at least within the next 5 years, we know it's against your will and Tony Khan is telling you have to have it right now, please. How do you expect people to be excited when you win the title? If you win it. In the next 5 years especially. How do you expect them to be excited for you? When they remember what you said and they're like, oh shit, they're forcing the title on her. How do you expect fans to believe in what they're viewing when you're literally just stomping on kayfabe, you're pissing on it, you're taking a shit on it. And I know, BC, man, everybody else is already taking a piss on and shit on and stepped on the fucking kayfabe. Why is Britt Baker any different? Well, I mean, that doesn't mean add to it. Doesn't mean that everybody just keeps walking by and keeps shitting on the same shitted area. You know? Like if the neighborhood douche is walking the dog and the dog takes a shit and you're supposed to clean it up. But no, you just leave it there for the other neighborhood people to either walk on or have to smell or see when they walk by. But when everybody else walks by, they're not going to have their dog shit on the same shit, right? You're going to say, oh, that fucking douche left his dog shit there again. But you'll still go somewhere else and have your dog shit. Not everybody is going to pile up on the same shit, I would think. That's what you're saying with kayfabe. And I'm harsher on this because I like Britt Baker. I really do. And she took a lot of unnecessary heat with the whole Thunder Rosa shit. And then Rosa claimed like she was the victim and that Britt Baker had her girls and they were all bullying her. Rosa is the victim. Not so fast. You know, BC knew the truth on that whole time, man. I got people in these companies. I'm going to tell you guys straight up. I'm not going to give you names, but I'm going to tell you straight up. Multiple people in that company told me that was bullshit. What Rosa was spewing. So I knew for a fact, long before many, that it was all bullshit. Not just he said, she said. I had factual information. A lot of it I didn't even disclose to anybody at any time. Not just my unit, but not even to, I hate to say the word, my sources down in Florida. I didn't even regurgitate what I knew to them. So that whole thing just made me look at the locker room differently in AEW because it was supposed to be so much better than WWE, and it just wasn't. And then we started hearing more and more just bad stories in the locker room, and of course now it's known as a sloppy shop. But Britt Baker, man, she took a lot of unnecessary heat, but that you can't when cameras are rolling, especially. You know this could be, you don't know what's going to end up on the editing room floor. I get it. But knowing that this could get out there, you can't just be like, I never want to win the title again. Absolutely not. The drama that went with it, the girls being mad at me, no way. I don't want it. At least not for 5 years. I have PTSD on the title. And you're a pro wrestler. I mean, for your fans especially, the ultimate sign of respect for fans to give their favorite wrestler is to anoint, you deserve it, and anoint them, the fucking adulation, and push them for the title. What the fuck are you going to do as a Britt Baker fan? Go for a triple threat match. Try to get a steel cage match. I mean, what are we supposed to root for if you're a Baker fan? Listen, Pro Wrestling 101. Okay, this should be something you learn on the first day of wrestling. Okay, keep kayfabe a little bit alive at the bare minimum, please. A little bit. Like in interviews, or if you're being filmed for a television show or not, let's not say you don't want to win the world championships. Let's not say that if the whole goal in wrestling is to try to get championships. I understand. We understand. It's scripted. It's predetermined. It's pre-planned. We get it. It's a television show. We get it. You're still pro wrestlers with one goal in mind. Get the fucking titles so that the world knows you're at the top of your game. You're not here just to fucking play cheerleader to Jamie Hayter or anybody else. Or to cry about fucking the girls being mean to you. If this is really what it's at, then you got to rethink the career you're in. And honestly, go fill more teeth. Go do more root canals. She's a successful dentist from what I hear. Maybe that makes you happier. Maybe that won't give you PTSD. Unless you get somebody that comes in there with a lot of fucked up teeth. I don't know. Maybe that gives you PTSD in the dentist world. I don't know. But man, Britt Baker, to hear her say she is done with the AEW championship, that is sad, man. It sucks, and I don't want to hear that from any wrestler ever again, especially Britt. Much love, much respect to Britt Baker. Now, guys, we have to talk about this. This is Roman Reigns in his current 970-day title reign, I believe. 971, maybe. I think it's 970. Well, either way, 970-ish. You got about 1 month left, 30 days. May 27th, I believe, when they are actually in Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions, is the 1,000th day. How funny is that? Or not so funny, if you have not liked this reign for the past 3 years-ish. This is where you might get an insta headache. From what I am hearing, not concrete, obviously. This is just preparing you for the hurricane, right? Just like we talked about Omos, what I was hearing, guys, was that Rollins going over Omos is not set in stone. And I was even hearing that Omos is the front runner to win Money in the Bank this year. Front runner, not in concrete. However, I did see a little piece of a nugget of information this past Monday, a little tease, when Seth Rollins said, if you're wondering who's going to win the new world championship, blah, 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 I would put your money on me. And once he said, put your money on me, Omos's music hit and Omos came out. I don't know if that's just a little tease to get people ready, but BC was hearing that heavy last week to this week. So it's not set in stone. I don't want people to be having PTSD hearing that Omos is going to win Money in the Bank. No, I'm just getting you ready. It's like a hurricane. You start getting the hurricane warnings, right? The hurricane watches, but you're hoping it brushes off to the coast. You're hoping the hurricane doesn't actually go over your city, your town. I'm just preparing you guys for Hurricane Omos. In case he actually wins Money in the Bank, you guys are not that shook. You're not like, what the fuck? You guys were warned about Hurricane Omos. This is kind of the same thing. I'm hearing heavy that Roman hitting 1,000 days is not the goal for WWE. It's bigger than that. It is Hulk Hogan's 1,474-day reign. 1,474 days. This is being heavily discussed down in Florida. Exactly what my people heard in conversations with an S, which is why I am talking about this now with you guys. Hulk Hogan held the title for 1,474. That is what they are talking about in WWE. Not Bruno Sammartino, not Pedro Morales. For those of you wondering, Pedro Morales held the title for 1,000. These are the gentlemen above Roman right now. There are 4 gentlemen, I believe. Pedro, Bruno, Hulk, and Bob Backlund. Pedro Morales will be next after Roman hits 1,000 days in Saudi Arabia. Night of Champions, May 27th. That'll be 1,000. 27 days later, he will eclipse Pedro Morales' reign of 1,027 days. So he just has to go one more month and he will then go into the top 5 title reigns of all time. He will be in the top 5 behind Bruno, Bob, Hulk, and again, Bruno. Bruno has 2 reigns in the top 4. Roman is about to enter the top 5 after he defeats Pedro Morales' reign. Again, that's going to be 1 month after May 27th, 27 days later. But that's not the goal. Pedro Morales is 1,027. Then he will be headed toward Bruno Sammartino's title reign of 1,237 days. That is the 4th longest reign currently. Bruno Sammartino, 1,237 days. And that's not what they're going for. That's not, I wish I could tell you that was it. Okay, we just have to go fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 7 or 8 months. And we'll just get the fucking Bruno one out of the way. No. The number 3 longest title reign is held by Hulk Hogan, 1,474 days. Hulk Hogan won that championship January of 1984, and he did not lose it till February of 1988. So 84 to 85, 85 to 86, 86 to 87, 87 to 88. 4 complete years Hulk Hogan held on to that championship. And that is where they are targeting that title reign. That's what they want Roman to eclipse, that number 3 spot, and boot Hulk Hogan out of the top 3. Roman Reigns would sit there. If you're wondering why they're probably not talking about the top 2, guys, the second longest reign after Hulk Hogan's 1,474 is Bob Backlund's 2,135-day reign, guys. Roman Reigns probably won't even be wrestling fucking like that in 3 years. Bob Backlund, 2,135 days, February 78. February of 1978, he won it. And he didn't lose it till December of 1983. 78 to 83. That's over 5 years of a title reign for Bob Backlund. 2,135 days. And if you guys are wondering the top longest reign ever, it is Bruno Sammartino at 2,803 days. That title reign will never be beaten. I'm calling it right now. It'll never be beaten. May 17th, 1963, he won that title, and he didn't lose it till January 18th, 1971. He held that championship for 7 years, 8 months, and 1 day. Nearly 8 years of a title reign. So if you're wondering why Bob and Bruno are not being discussed, not from what I'm hearing anyway, it's probably because they know that's out of the question. But once they knew they were going to hit 1,000, and once they saw Pedro at 1,027, they're like, we might as well boot him from the top 5. And that's when you start saying, well, fuck. Hulk Hogan, is that really somebody we want tied in that top 3 spot when Roman's at 1,000? Now, we know how Vince McMahon feels about Hogan these days. We know how HHH feels about Hulkamania, brother. These conversations that my people hear down in Florida, and by the time it reaches me, and then we start to hear more substance is added, there's more validity to what they're hearing, and then they tell me even more. That's when I start to know, oh fuck, there's substance to the conversation at large. Like, there's truth to this. At least the fact that they're talking about this. That raises the 5-alarm fire. You know what I mean? We got to raise the flag and start talking about this, guys, because this might not just be for 1,000 days. And that this didn't even dawn on me, man. When I was just preparing the notes for you guys and what I wanted to discuss in this very large conversation, it didn't even dawn on me. They probably, when they knew that this is the way they wanted to go, they knew they had to put out this new championship because it was going to be a long fucking time, and people are already getting tired of this title reign. And BC loves long title reigns, by the way. After WrestleMania, this started to get a little exhausting for even BC. But I bet you they knew that, oh boy, if you're tired of it now, you still got a couple of years of this shit. So they added a new fucking title. Man. Guys, they could honestly be going for Hulk Hogan's 1474. I don't know if I got it in me for that shit, man. Fuck, I love long-term storytelling to a point. I love long title reigns. I've been telling you guys that since I've had the channel. I can't stand merry-go-round reigns. I can't stand hot potato. I can't stand 2 to 3 month reigns. I can't stand it. Roman had it for multiple years. I was fine with it. Going into WrestleMania this year, I was fine with it. Coming out, it just feels stale. It was obviously a botched decision. I'm exhausted by everything about it right now. I just need something fresh, a little bit new and organic. I don't know about 1474. Guys, that's... Hold on, let me do some math on that real quick. I'll tell you when exactly that is. If they're going for Hogan's reign, the earliest that Roman is going to lose the championship, if they're going to go full throttle with this and boot Hulk Hogan, Das Boot, out of the third spot for longest reign ever, boot Hogan and put Roman in there. Some quick math is telling BC that the earliest that Joe Anoa'i, Roman Reigns, could possibly lose that title. This is top of my head, guys, so I might be a few days off. September 13th-ish of 2024, roughly. September 13th, 2024 would be the earliest day that Roman could drop the title after defeating Hulk Hogan's 1,474 title reign. So I don't even know what that would be. That's in the middle of like a SmackDown and a Raw, I believe. I don't have a 2024 calendar in front of me, but I believe that's going to be between a Raw and a SmackDown. You're not going to have them lose with that. So what pay-per-view would be around end of September? Because that would be the earliest. And the next big event would have to be Survivor Series. Is this whole... At that point, you'd be like a 4 or 5 year champion. Are you going to lose it at a Survivor? Wouldn't you just at that point wait till WrestleMania 41? It would be WrestleMania 41 at that point. So you would add on September, October, November, December, January, February. Another 7 months is 210 days. That would put you... You'd still be 400 away from Bob Backlund. So you'd have to lose it at WrestleMania 42. No, you'd still have to add a month or two. Wow. I don't want to give anybody more of a headache than they probably already have. The point is, it's Hulk Hogan. You can't go for Backlund. People will just be fucking banging their fucking dome piece against every brick wall they come across by that point. If they're not already by 1474. Fucking A, man. So he can't lose the title until September of 2024. September of next year would be the earliest if they're gonna go full throttle with defeating Hulk Hogan, giving him Das Boot from the top 3, and it looks like that's what they're doing with the new championship being involved. Trying to ease the pressure and have Roman just keep doing what he's doing for the next year and a half. Take out Hulk Hogan, and then WrestleMania 41, and whoever that's going to be at the time. Cody Rhodes gets screwed in the process, obviously. I guess everybody will just be wrestling for this new runner-up championship, right? This consolation prize trophy. Anyway, listen, you think I want to be talking about this with you guys, man? I want to be talking about some good stuff, man. This is what I'm hearing. I feel you guys should know about it. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm hoping they change direction. Some fucking sense and logic gets talked to them. I hope they don't even have to beat Pedro Morales. Keep him at 5. Get your 1,000 and drop that shit, bitch. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. I got to go get a couple of coffees. I haven't had a coffee in about an hour and 20 minutes. I was doing some prep on this, and then we just filmed for over 45 minutes-ish, whatever it is. So I'm going to go get some coffees. What I'd like to do, actually, no, and that's not what I'm going to do. That's the podcast. That's over. I appreciate you guys so much. I want to give a roll call to every single one of my channel members, my gold card unit, to show that big thanks that I always want you guys to know, because I'm so very thankful and appreciative for you guys supporting the channel and being on the front lines of the AMP unit. So I want to do a full roll call. It's something we do for the Yankees in the Bronx. We give the players a roll call. This is going to take several minutes, but it's updated every hour, so it helps BC see exactly who's my channel members. So whenever I check this, I love knowing that it's up to date every hour. All my newest channel members to my tried and trues. So I'm going to do that. That's the podcast, though. I thank you guys, everybody that viewed or listened, podcast format only, audio format only, no matter how you consumed all of this wrestling talk. If you caught both podcasts, minute 1 to the end minute for both, you guys are the fucking best. I appreciate it, man. I love talking pro wrestling with you guys. This is my hobby. It's not a job, full-time, part-time, nothing. It's not a job. As it became successful, it easily could be a job, how much work I put into it, but I just love doing it. And you guys make it so much fun. And, it's not as fun if people aren't listening to the actual discussions, stories, the facts that we're dropping, the news that I have. So even though that's a lot of content today, like 2 hours if you put both podcasts together, you guys are the best. I'd have it no other way, man. I love doing these double dose of amplifications for you guys. Tomorrow, it could be another double doser. I want to put up a podcast amped up in the morning-ish, maybe, afternoon-ish. And I also want to be live with you guys for SmackDown tomorrow night. So if you guys want to hang and shoot the shit, talk some pro wrestling while watching SmackDown, come on over to the channel. Would love to have you. Think, Be, Live, amped always. Amplified unit and out. Check you. BC's going to stick around for a little bit. I want to give a shout out to my channel members, my gold unit. So let's do that before BC is saying check you later. I want to start off from the beginning, which I know is JR9 Gaming, by the way, but I have to see it on the list. There we go. JR9 Gaming. First gold card member. Jack Brewer. Godswilla. Jacqueline Robinson. Sir Charles. Sadiqua Flowers. Anthony Bowley. Ray Foreman. Kim T. Dante Jaron 23. A. Merrick. James Miller. Eric Leno. D. Carre. Sai Parker. PB Silly Pride. Sam Byers. Ash Stifler. Steggles. DJ is a prodigy. Alicia Vukovic. Betty Banks. Trina Scott. Carlos Ray. Pimp Jesus. Janelle Layton. Raymond Caron. Nessie Sunflower. Jamos. Santivia Major. Jared Kelly. James Shrimp Fajitas. G, a.k.a. True Life to God. K. Doherty. Christopher Blackshear. Network Guy Dave. J. Dwayne Piazza. Quentin Gilbert. Pile Driver Finisher. Savage 1024 The Punisher. Brand Q featuring Quincy. Rachel Rocca. Mr. Big 200. Smokey. Jamal Straken. Venus Soldier 92. Robert Hurt. Snake Venom. Silver Black 31. Jimmy Fingers 19. Sterling Range. Ozzy Edwards. Taryn Dawn. Jane Donnelly. Buggy. Ray Hunt. The Up Channel. Colin. Blitz 2K5. Dave Mealy. A Flock of Morons. Angel Alega. Renee G. Big Nang. Jason Martinez. Richard Rodriguez. Kevin M.D. Demonte Ty Drew. Richard Wade. Neon Firefly. Thurston Pachalek. John Gray. Cosmic Fool. Ryan Matina. Nah, I'm good. Brian Robinson. DC Lanier. Ash Sims. AWS Promotions. Soldierman 1984. Muhammad Isa. Sean. Freestyler. Fresh Stylers Inc. Podcast. Deontay Thomas. Sheriff Rivers. Ramon Brown. Spicy Mama McCaleb. WWE AEW Marvel Fan. Notorious Nikki Smith. Nick Clark. Chris, a.k.a. King Wolf. Kawow. Nathan Savay. Swift 718. Tacos for Tonight. Cruz Madrid. Caitlin Lee Hagar. Red Jester 88. Go Jackets. Gaming R3 App 3R. APW. Carlton Bartley. Chaos CAK. The Script Keeper. Psycho on Crack. Mike Cauldron, Profound Mogul, Rage Hall, Bad Big Dog 95, D-Block 85, Maximus Sage, Titan Poetic Chef, Jimmy J 145, Josiah Cooper, Ron C 23, Eric Newton, D Stands Alone, Crimson, Daniel Pinson, Clutch City Fan, Unique Butterfly, Jeremy Harris, Kevin Johnston, Sabres News Consolidated. My AMP Unit Gold member, Gold Card status. That is my thank you to you. The ultimate respect you can do in the Bronx in New York City is give a roll call. Well, that's what my gold members just got there, and they will continue to get going forward, showing that level of respect to the channel month by month. And when I know when I call upon the gold team, you guys step the fuck up and we rock out. So much love and respect always. That's what I got for you guys. Till next time, and there will be a next time. Tomorrow, a lot of amplification is coming your way. I hope to be again live tomorrow night for SmackDown. So there's a lot coming. You know what to do. Smash that up, stay subscribed, press the bell notification, make sure you do all the things down below. And that way you're rocking at full capacity. Amplify, baby! BC saying check you.